Okay, so hi everyone. Um, a couple things. It's been a crazy world out there, and hopefully everybody's hanging in there. Um, I guess one of the things that I want to talk about is the first couple things, the things that we're doing to stay in front of our clients, and the things that I've dealt with in a down market before. This will be my fifth down market, and every one has been different. And the first one occurred from 1990 to 1995, 96. It's about a 6, 7 year downturn, and it collapsed the market. 30% of the agents left the real estate business. Every major firm in Center City closed up in 90, 91, and 92. And I saw the biggest shift in that market. But people that in the 80s were booming, all of a sudden the market collapsed. They weren't prepared. They lost everything, all these big shots. So that stayed with me as a young agent, only being in the business about 4 years. And every major firm in Center City closed up. Coldwell Banker left, Waker left, Century 21 left, Remax left. Every major firm between 90 and 92 pulled out of Center City. It's hard. It's funny, I was talking to another agent the other day who said, remember in 1994, I sold a property in Northern Liberties and there was not one comp. There was not one sale in Northern Liberties. It's either 94 or 92. Every major firm closed up. What did I do? As a new agent, I had actually one assistant then. What I did was I just kept plugging away. So I continued to educate myself, and I went door to door handing out flyers, and I just kept on going along. And then when the market came back, it took me to the next level because so many people gave up. And thank God I had that vacuum cleaner salesman mentality from when I was a kid selling vacuums. The James B. Marion III taught me never, never, never give up. And the harder you work, the luckier you can get. And can't means won't. You can't do that? No, that means you won't do that. And I had a wife and 2 children. I was living in a little house in South Philly, and I had to make it happen. So there wasn't an alternative of giving up. So I fast forward to today. This is horrible. This is not the end of the world. I was speaking to Alan Dom the other day. He said, Mike, the sky is not falling. You've seen the greatest transition of wealth when markets go down, and that's when wealth gets transferred. In the 90s, every major firm closed up. People left the business. Everybody lost their shirt. But the people that stayed in the business, the people that invested in real estate, grew. I saw people in the 90s that were buying real estate and were working in real estate, and then when the market came back in about 97, do really well. So that stayed with me. And so what did I do? I just kept plugging away. And I became an expert at expired listings because listings were hard to sell. You didn't even want to be the second broker. You wanted to be the third broker in. That's how bad it was. Prices had dropped 30 to 40%. So I would be a hero in selling a property. I remember I sold one, they paid $640 in 1988. And in 1994, I sold it for $340. And it was a 5-unit condominium building right on Rittenhouse Square on 18th and Delancey. And people said to me, how could you sell that to your investor for that kind of money? And I'm like, oh my God. So I went to him, I said, everybody tells me you're paying too much. He said, Mike, this is a blue chip investment, long term. Now, what is that worth today? That's worth at least $3 million, $3.5 million today. And I personally bought a couple small triplexes in Queen Village in the 90s for $80,000 that people paid $180 for or whatever. So what I'm saying to you is that there's investment opportunities, and then there's also investing in yourself. The other thing that I did, which everybody's doing today, it's a lot easier today, is educating myself. I looked at the top people in the business and I said, if they can do it, I can do it. And I tried to mimic what they were doing. I also took educational courses at Temple and read every single book, went to the national conventions and stuff like that. And today, education's so much easier with the internet and blogs and Zoom and all these things. Then we boomed. And then in 97, it started to boom. And man, I went from this no-name agent to being a pretty big agent because everyone had left. And also, I was diversified. I worked with blue collar clientele to the more affluent. But by the late 90s, I started to get even more Society Hill, Queen Village, instead of just like South Philly stuff. Then in 2000, the dot-com market collapsed. And everybody said that's the end of real estate. And that dropped for about 9 months because everybody lost money in the market big time and it was negativity. It lasted about 9 months and it came back. And then we started to boom again. And then we had 9/11. And that was a horrible time. That lasted for probably about a year. Fear, just like today, major fear. People were fearful, but people came together just like I'm seeing today. Like, you talk to somebody in that, back then you didn't have the iPhone, so people would talk to you like in the elevator, they weren't on their phones. It would be like everybody was kind to each other and just caring, and it was a beautiful thing. That recovered after about a year, and the government, like today, released some stimulus stuff, and it just changed capital gains, and it took the market. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 were booming. And then we went into 08, and some of you probably were around in 08. And that was a horrible market. And I remember in 08, all of a sudden, everybody's becoming fearful. The market's collapsing. The banks might be going under. There was just all kinds of craziness. People start to lay off. And at that point, being established in the business for, I guess it was 20 years, I remember saying to my support staff, I think I had 6 assistants at the time, I said, guys, I have your money in the bank. It doesn't matter if we don't sell a property for a year. You have a job. So let's get to work. And I do a lot of mailings. I was doing about 3,000 mailings a month. So I said, how many mailings are we doing? And my one support staff said, oh, we'll do about 3,000. I said, let's triple it. And I increased back then Zillow and Realtor.com were new and they were very effective. I said, let's double that. So I actually increased my spending. But the reason I was able to do that was because I had experienced in my early days big shots in a booming market to them losing everything. And I said to myself, that will never happen to me. So I saved first. I invest in my business, and that will help in these downtimes. So, so that gave my staff and my team the confidence. So in 09, yeah, did my business go down? Yeah, probably went down 10 or 20% or something like that, not dramatically. My expenses went up a little bit. I still made more than, and as many of us do, make more than 95, 98% of the American population. Nobody could lay me off. That's what I love about real estate. No one can say you don't have a job anymore. It's up to you. So as that downturn occurred and I invested in the market and I gave the confidence to my team, and we just worked and worked and worked. And again, by 12, 13, the market came back and I went to another level. So each downturn, I just kept plugging away and plugging away. And yes, there's probably been about 4 years in my career, my 33 years, I'll be 34 in June, where I didn't make more money than the year before, or I didn't net more money than the year before. And who cares? It's not the end of the world. But you learn how to save your money, you learn how to invest in real estate, and you learn how to grow personally in a downturn. So that's what I'm doing today. So first thing I said a month ago, I said, everybody's got to look at their expenses. Look at your personal expenses. Anything that you don't absolutely need, cut right now, because I think this market is going to be 3 to 6 months before we get somewhat to normalcy. I'm hoping we come back out May 1st or May 15th, but there's going to be a lot of scared people, nervous people, because it's not like it's going to be switched off and going away. There's going to be fear, but right now you're going to lose people in our business that don't have the tenacity, don't have the staying power. People are going to need us more than ever. Our jobs are not going away. People need to buy and sell real estate no matter what. If you don't think you're valuable to people, you shouldn't be in the business. I know that my clients need me. Redfin or Zillow or any of them, they can't do what we do. So in this downturn, my staff is all working, everybody's working at home, but we're getting our our contacts together. We're working on learning on command for any KW people. We are working on our 33 touch system. We're working on newsletters. We're reaching out to our clients on a regular basis. Personally, right now, I'm not asking for business. My business has always been a business of attraction. I've never been big at, hey, do you want to buy or sell? But I'm reaching out and I'm doing at least 10 to 15 a day. And some clients I end up, hey, let's Zoom. I had an hour conversation with a big client of mine from years ago who's like, Mike, I'm scared. What's going on? And I had an hour conversation on Zoom with him yesterday. And I've had that with a lot of people. It's funny, now I can Zoom, and I like Zooming because I can talk personally with people. So I'm reaching out to my clientele and I'm getting prepared so when the floodgates open. If you're I also believe there's going to be opportunities with tons of expired listings to grow your business as soon as the floodgates open, going after withdrawal and going after expireds, people that couldn't sell, finding ways to make it happen for them. Yes, we're doing virtual tours right now. How many people are going to buy directly from that? Not that many. I mean, to me, not that many. There's some investors. There's going to be opportunities to work investors where people are there's going to be some really sad things. My friend has 4 restaurants. I was speaking to him yesterday and he's scared, he's scared, but he knows, he's been with me about 15 years. He knows the Mike McCann, save your money first. And so he can probably withstand it. But I said, Chris, you need to do takeout. You need to set up a tent. You need to do takeout. Come on, use your ingenuity. Why you've been successful. Find other ways right now. So what ways are you finding to make your business better, to do the business you can right now, but to prepare for when we can go back out there, and to give that confidence and reassurance to your clients that the world has not ended. Stay healthy. It's the most important thing. And this health thing is real. Thank God, 90% will, 95, 98% will survive if they get this disease. And my father is in the hospital for 3 weeks right now. They did 2 tests and thank God he doesn't have it, but he has the breathing thing and the fever and all that stuff. So I've been really, really difficult. But they just found out, they did 2 tests and he doesn't have it. But this is real. And I'm hearing about people now in our marketplace that have this disease. So it's real, and we're health first. I mean, we have to comply with the law. So anyway, so that's some of the things. I'm going to probably open this up for, because I could ramble about a million different things. I'm going to probably open this up for questions because I've kind of jumped around. I didn't have a real agenda. Does anybody have any questions?
Mike, hi. Thanks for being such a great leader. It's Kristen Daly. Mike, what are you spending money on now?
Okay.
How have you pivoted? Yeah.
Yes. So it's funny. So I hate to admit this, but I'm still an addict of Realtor.com and Zillow. And my goal is to slowly wean off of that. But I am spending money. I still am. They've offered some major discounts. It's the other thing I've done with a lot of my vendors right now. From I do ads in the papers. They've in some newsletters and in some style magazine and places. And I've got those cut down. I actually have increased some Realtor.com and some Zillow at 60% less pricing. I've cut a few things out also. My mailings, I've actually increased a little bit more of my mailings. I have this mailing that I send out every other month, about 9,000 to a 3-fold postcard. So I've increased a little bit of that because I want to you can't disappear. What I would do if you don't have a big budget, and what I'm doing also is the social media. I'm working on being better on Instagram. I mean, I'm big on Facebook, but then I also have my personal business. I mean, my business Facebook and my personal. So we're doing more social media. I did hire an SEO company to help with more social. So I have a person who does my social media and she's great. and we're doing more of that, but I hired a company to do some more social media through Facebook and through Instagram. What else did my supports, the best thing you can invest in is talent. And that's what I am blessed with. Everybody's working at home right now, coming up with things, with ideas. And so we're implementing a few things. Again, our 33 touch. I'm new to Keller Williams, so I never did that before. We're just getting in the mode with that. We're doing a newsletter, so email marketing. You don't have to spend big dollars, but you have to stay present in people's. So to me, if I don't have a big budget, I'm going to work on SEO, social media, coming up with a consistent format for that, because that does get you business. I love mailings. They work. I get a lot of listings from mailings. I'm going to target expired listings. I really think that once we can go back out there, dropping stuff off, contacting them through calls, emailing, mailing, there's going to be a great opportunity for people. I'd go back 2 years, people's listings that didn't expire. It's a whole ready market that didn't sell, that at one point wanted to sell. It was, hey, this is Mike. I see you had your place up last year and you didn't sell it. Would you like me to? I'd love to meet with you to find out why it didn't sell. That's a big market that I saw in every downturn. People that couldn't sell took their homes off the market. So that's it. I have trimmed a little bit of things that weren't working, and personally, I've trimmed a few things because we're still dealing with our settlements. The one, again, we've been spending a lot of time keeping our deals together that we're under contract. But come June, July, and August, what we're not writing now, we're not going to have commissions in July and August. So you have to be prepared for that. But I got to tell you, in my 5 downturns, I think this is going to be 6 months to a year, and I think we'll be back out there. We have the lowest inventory that we've ever, in 20 years. We're going to continue to have low interest rates, even though the standards are a little bit stricter right now. Hopefully that'll get sorted out, but they're a little bit stricter. We have a great demand. And the reason the Center City market was down about 16% last year in transactions. And that was because of inventory, not because of demand. It's still a seller's market. We have, I think it's like less than 3 months worth of inventory right now. A balanced market is about 5 to 6 months worth of inventory, and anything more than that becomes a buyer's market. So you have to stay out there. That's all. You have to reach your clients. But I'm not saying, anybody that wants to buy or sell, I'm not doing. Hey, how you doing? I hope you get through it. If there's anything I can help you with, please let me know. My message is more of a message of compassion right now. I'm actually doing some charity stuff with the food bank. So I'm just trying to help out, but give confidence to our people that as soon as the floodgates open, we're going to be able to slowly get back with difference. This will change our business forever. Trust me, a year from now or 3 years from now, you'll remember where you were, what you did, how crazy these times were, how much you grew, how much the industry changed. And I've seen many changes in the industry, and I think that this is going to be another changing time in the industry. Any questions?
Mike, I have a question. It's Francis Megawatt. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
It's Francis, Mike.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
How do you think retail is going to get affected, especially on Walnut Street, especially with a lot of these businesses barely breaking even or operating at a loss? And how do you think restaurants are going to rebound?
And that's a great question. So the one gentleman I was on the phone with, he's been my client for 20 years, and he really got into big commercial stuff. I used to sell 50 properties a year for him, and now he's in the commercial. And right now, 90% of commercial are not paying, which is unbelievable. He said, this is going to absolutely change the retail industry big time. Forget about the malls, like that's going to go way down. Yeah, it's funny, even office space. Now that people can function at home more, they're going to not need as much office space. I believe commercial is going to get hurt much worse than residential. The beauty about us, people have children, they outgrow their house. People rent, they need to buy a house. People want to downsize, people need to buy and sell a house. And as residential realtors, we are going to be, I'm telling you, we're going to be okay. I'll bet you in 6 months, we're 85, 90% back to where we were. But that's going to change big time. So you're going to see prices go down on those. And he said to me, he said, I think my commercial holdings are probably worth 25%. They kind of mimic 20, 25% less than the market. Like they're almost like the stock market in a sense. And many of those industries won't step up. Now, to me, restaurants, they're going to come back. You know, unfortunately, what makes me so sad is as entrepreneurs, and you guys know this, you work your butt off. Nobody really appreciates how hard an entrepreneur works because we're thinking, we're communicating 24/7. You build this restaurant business, it's minimum profits. And for 10 years, and you're doing good, and this could collapse all that time and effort. It's horrible. People will refill those businesses though. So like it will recover. Restaurants, not going to recover right away. If May 1st or May 15th, we're allowed back out, restaurants might have to be 6 feet apart from each other. You're not going to see people at the movies. You're not going to see people at games as much. There's going to be social distancing for a while now until there's a vaccine. So you're going to see a lot, so it doesn't resurface. There's going to be a lot of changes. But commercial and small commercial, they're running on a shoestring, and they are really going to have a hard time. So not good. Do I think it will come back? Yes, but probably different and probably at a smaller scale. Law firms aren't going to need as much space. Real estate offices aren't going to need as much space. A lot of businesses aren't going to need as much space because of the way that we're learning to communicate. I mean, I got to tell you, I did a listing appointment on Zoom, and I thought, yeah, I'm an emotional guy. Anybody knows me. I like my contact with people. I hug people. I smack them. Like I like to be close. That's how I build my relationships. But I did a listing appointment on Zoom. The guy was interviewing realtors, and so we did it on Zoom. I spent an hour and 15 minutes on Zoom. I felt like I was sitting in front of him. He said to me, I'm not interviewing anybody else. Send the paperwork, Mike. So there's some real benefits to the Zoom thing. And we're having our team meetings and our team happy hours on Zoom. It's great, like twice a week. Like we're talking on it as a team, and it's like, it is so much fun. Instead of us trying to schedule all together, we're probably going to do Zoom meetings a lot. I mean, we'll still have our personal contact, but we're going to have Zoom. But anyway, to say commercial, to me that's really, really going to be difficult. I think those values are going to be down 25%. And that was really from a good friend of mine who, it's funny, in 2005, he said, I want to sell now. The market's going bad. I'm like, what are you kidding me? The market's booming. It's insane. It was 2006. And then by 2007, it started to change a little bit. And 2008, we collapsed. I'm like, I can't believe you predicted that. So I take what he's saying pretty serious. I mostly get my information from being on the street. I mean, from dealing with the people. Yeah, I look at statistics, I read stuff, but I live by a sense. And when he tells me that, I totally get it. But 90% are not paying right now. Now, some will be able to pay in 3 months, maybe, and some will just never open back up again. Hopefully people will fill that, but that's going to have big effects.
Mike, and the second thing to go kind of hand in hand with that is, how does ultra luxury get affected, the 1 to 3 million price point, especially with Laurel and you have Art House going up, and then you have Toll Brothers that's doing a new development. And the reason I ask is one of my buddies just was under contract on a new construction, $3 million house, and he just backed out, didn't want to buy at the top of the market.
Yes. So the one thing with luxury is luxury do things when they choose to do things. They don't have to do things because their lease is up or their family's growing. So like in 2008, the 2008 downturn, I mean, I remember luxury condominiums, the values dropped between 15 and 30% in our marketplace. Houses dropped about 7 to 15%. But the luxury ones were more difficult, took longer, and got hurt more than our, $300,000 to $600,000 price range. So luxury people, they lost money in the stock market. So many of our luxury, I mean, the financing's not the issue because a lot of them pay cash or they just put minimum down. But jumbo loans right now are almost non-existent. But I have confidence in the mortgage industry. There's a lot of smart. My cousin told me there's a lot of smart people in the mortgage industry, and they will, with the reducing of the rates, it caused these unintended consequences, and that messed the whole mortgage market up. But there's a lot of smart people, and they will sort that out. The difference today is, I remember in 05, 06, 07, we had stated income loans. Well, how much you make? Well, I make 30,000. You make 300,000 a year? Okay, you can buy that $300,000. Like they were giving money for anything. The market, people had bought homes that should not have been buying homes. People were making money off real estate, flipping leverage. They were making $40,000 a year and were doing flips of fundamentally the market was flawed. And it was just waiting for that to explode. Today, I mean, we had the lowest unemployment in 50 years. We've had best economy in the world. So fundamentally, until this happened, actually we were looking really good. And this was going to be our best spring in 3 years. I mean, we sold 90 homes in February. It was like, our goal was to do 1,000 this year. I will tell you, any plans you had at the beginning of the year, scrap those and start those over because it's a different world today. Will we survive? Absolutely. Will we make money? Absolutely. Do our clients need us? Absolutely. The question is you might not be able to make as many nice trips or buy that extra investment property. But if anybody in this business that goes out, there's going to be a need for you more now than there were before. It's going to get rid of the people that were just selling real estate and in the business because it was so darn easy. Because I will tell you, in these good times, a lot of people make a lot of money easily. They don't realize that this market is cycles. And that's what it's. And now, when there will be some good things about this, changing our industry. We'll get rid of the weak links. People will become more professional. People will be more cooperative. Clients will need us more. So that's my thoughts. I mean, but the luxury market will probably be affected. Will be affected more than our entry level, and that's why, to me, I always say I sell homes from 100,000 to 3 million and everything in between, because I remember a couple of my downturns where the luxury agents just didn't survive. But because I still did the plumber and electrician in Pennsport, I still made a very good living. So we can't all be luxury. The luxury market was going to definitely suffer more than the regular market. But there's a need for us. Don't ever forget that. This stinks. I don't know what day it is right now. You know what I mean? It's tough. I am on Zoom and working all day long, but I'm not closing deals, man. I'm not having that adrenaline right now. It's kind of, a bummer for me. But what's most important is my family's health, my team's health, people in our offices, all of our health, and my clients' health. And then we will go back. It will resume. We're all in this together. It's not like Mike McCann real estate went bad or, Amy Goldman's real estate went bad. It's the whole market's real estate went bad. The whole world changed right now. As my mentor once told me, anything easy isn't worthwhile, and anything worthwhile isn't easy. So who I feel bad for? I feel bad for, we share a lot of these friends, is a lot of our developers. I mean, they work on small margins. They're doing a lot of transactions. Made me sick watching our developers close up jobs. I mean, these are people that grew these businesses, employ tons, dozens, hundreds of people, from plumbers, electricians, roofers, hopefully not stucco guys, brick guys, realtors, title companies, architects. And that whole industry shut down, and they don't have much character. There's not much spread in those. They're set that they're on minimum profits. The small guy is the biggest guy I worry about. Toll Brothers, I'm not worried about them. And the luxury market will sit around and wait. I mean, fortunately, the average price in most of our marketplaces, three to 400,000. And it's nice to do nice $1 million deals. I love them too, but their center city, Philadelphia is growing. Philadelphia will continue to grow through the meds, eds. Tourism hopefully will come back. That's going to be slow. The conventions and the museums, and that's a big thing. The airlines. I mean, there's a lot. That's why, to me, it's really 6 months to a year before we fully recover out of this. But there's going to be plenty of opportunities to make a good living. So you just can't give up. Hone your skills. We always I would do that, but I'm too busy. Now you can do it. You got to set time aside, and that's what I'm doing. I'm setting time aside. My wife thought I'd be driving her crazy, but she's barely seeing me because I'm going in different rooms. I'm on the phones. I'm talking. I'm just not. I'm working. I'm working. Question.
I have a question. So I was on the precipice of actually getting started with KW, but when all of this stuff happened, obviously it put it kind of on hold. So as you mentioned in the beginning, where you were saying in the downturn, you just took that time to really educate yourself about the marketplace and just kind of master your craft. Do you have recommendations of things that I could be reading or podcasts that you enjoy, or any materials that would help me kind of brush up and just be ready to go as soon as everything opens back up?
Okay, so I got to just think back as a new person. It's so funny. So we were cleaning our office up, and I was my wife and I share an office, and we're cleaning up, and I was finding books from 30 years ago. And here's. Oh no, this was. Oh, I don't know. She must have cleaned them out, but I have all these marketing books. So really just marketing and mailing stuff. What have I read? Yeah. So these were some of my early books. Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
Greatest Salesman in the World. Power of Positive Thinking. Napoleon Hill. So that's some real old school stuff. What am I reading today? For me, I'm reading Shift, which is the Keller book that's in the shifting market. I am spending more time actually on listening to blogs, listening to other people, being on conferences like this, listening. If you send me an email, I will get you the name of some other books that are good. But I would be all day long, to me, I would just be a sponge of who I can listen to, what I can do, what plans I can implement. The Millionaire Real Estate from Gary Keller is a great book if you haven't read that.
Yeah, I started that one.
I'm sorry?
I started that one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so and The One Thing, that's it. So those are the three most recent books that I've read. But it's funny, I thought I would be reading more, but I spent so much time listening to the building industry, the mortgage people, the realtors, or Gary Keller, all kinds of stuff that I've been listening to a ton of blogs and reading stuff. Real estate's the greatest business. The first year is the most difficult. Anybody tells you different, it's not. But it's the best business in the history of the world because you're only limited by your mind and your talent. And the key thing I always tell agents is, why have I continued to be blessed and successful? Is because I've created the best reputation in the marketplace. I became the most knowledgeable, and I became the hardest working. And even though I'm competitive and I compete with half the people that are on here, I have a great relationship with 98.5% of people because I give more than I receive. But I look at the top people and say, if they can do it, what are they doing? And I try to do one thing different every quarter. That's just how I've been operating. And you just have to eat, breathe, sleep real estate. It's the only way. If you don't love real estate, you read about it. You have to be the best. I don't just sell real estate. I help people. I'm an important important person in their life. I just got a call from somebody, and it's going to be a multi-million-dollar property. Her husband became ill, and every realtor's been calling her like crazy. She said, Mike, I'm only calling you. It was a hard call for me to make because I know that you will do what's best for me and my family. And it's a hard time in our life, but I'm going to counsel her. I'll be her therapist. I'll be her building inspector. I'll be her contractor. I'll be her accountant. I'll be her financial guy, and I'll be her realtor. Like, I bring the whole package, and that's what you need to learn about real estate. It's not just showing real estate, it's directing them. You know what? You have to tell people what's going to work. You know, this is the value. You have to pull these carpets up and do these floors. You have to be brutally honest and let people know, and then help them with, I always bring my people in to help them if they don't have somebody. So I kind of take them under my wing. And so real estate is so much more than just showing a house to be successful. You have to be the whole therapist, attorney, accountant, lawyer. And again, never always say, you always do the disclaimer. Listen, I'm not an accountant, but if you sell now, you'll own this, whatever the answers are. So it's the best business, and coming in a slow market is better. I mean, there's a lot of people right now have only been in since 12 or 13 when the market's going up each year. I went in and it was booming, and I was this little inch of nothing, and then everybody collapsed, and then I kept plugging, and then the next flood came. I went way up to the top. So it's the best bit. But I always tell people, people work real hard to go to college. They pay a lot of money. If you spend the time you did at college in real estate, you'll become a millionaire. If you love real estate, there's just no way you won't be. Next question. Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Maya, right?
Yes.
Mike, I have a question. This is Victoria. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
My question is do you think that there's going to be a major shift in the rental market for both commercial and residential?
Residentially, I do not see that there's going to be a major shift at all. I'm confident of that. There's current people that are renting. I have a bunch of rentals, and a small, less than about 5% of mine said, Mike, we're both in the restaurant business. We lost our job. So I'm going to work with them because that's who I am. But residentially, I do not see, and every market shift that I've seen, I didn't see rents drop or us not be able to rent properties. I've seen rents stabilize. I've seen them not going up. I've seen a little bit of sometimes you give a little bit of a free month rent, but residentially, I do not. Commercial rents absolutely are going to go, they're going to go down. Deals are going to have to be made. And if you have a lot of commercial real estate,
Yeah, I do.
it's going to be very difficult. No question about it. We don't even, not me, not anybody could tell you exactly how it's going to be, but I think you're going to see a 25% drop in values commercially and probably even in rents. Again, it's always best to have good location stuff, but if you're over leveraged, you're in trouble. That's why I'm not a big believer in over leveraging. But residentially, Philly is great because we're one of the top 5 millennial places. We have young people coming in town. We have all the third biggest university. Downtown is the third biggest city with universities. So we have the meds and the eds coming in all the time. People, as soon as they get out of their house anymore, graduate college, they want to move in town. That wasn't the case in the 80s when I moved in town. People, my friends were like, "You're crazy, you're going to get killed." Now it's like, I'm not living in the suburbs, man. So they're coming in town. So no, residentially, I don't see any issue. The people that are currently in might have some problems, and they should be worked out. If you own real estate or your clients own real estate, I would say I'd work with them a couple months. Their unemployment starts. They're going to find jobs. They're not going to sit home, and they're going to be able to pay you rent.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Hello?
Ian Perler. Mike, I was curious, how do you keep your team motivated, and what things are you doing to keep them going during this time?
Listen, my team is my family. It's the most important thing to me. You spend more time with in the office or with your worker than you do your home people. So now I'm driving my home people crazy, and my team is probably happy now. Just kidding. So my team for me is I care about them more than anything. I will do whatever it takes. So I'll take the hit. I'll invest so much more so that our leads continue to come in. I'll help problem solve. And that's what I try to do. Help problem solve with my experience, with the way that I communicate. Today, you have to communicate very thoroughly and you have to come up with solutions. And I have helped recently some of my team overcome some of the issues with buyers wanting to cancel or sellers wanting to cancel. And just because of just really helping them drill down to, well, why do you want to cancel, buyer? Well, I think the real estate market's going to, okay, well, do you rent now? Yeah, okay. Well, would you rather rent? If you're not going to sell in a year, who cares? Real estate over time will go up. You know, the early properties I bought in the 80s dropped 30%. I was sick. I was crying to my wife. I said, only our generation loses money in real estate. But I didn't sell it. 10 years later, it was more valuable. You know, then another 10 years later, it's worth 400 or 500% more. So over time, so I always tell people, unless you're going to sell it in 3 years, you should buy no matter what. Every home that I purchased, I paid market value and mostly list price because it's where I wanted to live. And so this is where you live. Yes, it's going to prove over time to be the best investment. And again, I say this to my clients or to my agents' clients. I let them know, like, yeah, at the end of someone's life, because we handle estate sales, typically the only value that they have is their home. And it's funny, Jim Onesti on my team had sent out this thing that I forget the stats. It was a great stat. It showed that the average renter was worth like $2,400 and the average homeowner was worth like $240,000. I forget the exact numbers. If you email me, I'll get it from Jim. But it was unbelievable. So I tell people, what? Interest rates are low. You want to live here, like buy now. Successful people do things that others can't or won't do. And that's why I say, trust me, I wouldn't tell you this if I didn't believe it in my heart. And when you see me 6 months or a year or 2 years from now, you'll thank me for doing that. And that experience has come up. I just sold a house. They bought it from me in 1989. And at one point, it went down in value. 30 years later, they have me in. I was one of my agents. Guy gives me a big hug. This was a couple months ago because we could still hug that. And he's just talking about me like we're best friends. I haven't seen him for 30 years. But I was such an important factor in helping him buy his first home, him and his partner. And they never forgot me. And so that's why I love real estate too, because we're impactful in people's lives in an important way. So I take that very seriously. So you have to be, that's why you have to know more than just selling real estate. You have to know like everything about it. But my team I will do it. They know that they have my support. They know that my staff support. I give them great support staff. And so I'm just trying to keep them up, and we keep each other up. It's funny, I was having a meltdown like last Monday for like an hour. I was like, oh, it was rainy out and dreary. And I'm like, another Zoom week. Yeah, like I just want to sell real estate. My daughter, who's my operations manager, she's been with me 9 years. She's like, but Dad, you know, we have food, we have a house, we have. I said, shut up! You sound like Mike McCann. You know, I'm allowed to have a down moment. You know, let me be down for a moment. But you have to stay up and you have to keep your people up. But the reality of it is this is not the end of the world. I'm a grateful guy. My team knows that. I am grateful every day for heat, hot water, food, the health of my family. So we have it horrible, but we don't have it horrible. No nuclear bomb went off. We're not being sent to Germany and landing on Normandy to go get killed and fight a battle, fight a world war. You know, we're cooped up in our house. We're going to all lose some money, but we have heat, hot water, food. And if you don't, let me know. I'll send you some. But seriously, we have all that stuff. So we have to keep healthy right now. And we do have to make sure we physically, I'm doing 250 push-ups a day. I'm staying healthy. I'm making sure I don't overeat, because just hanging out, I could overeat. I'm actually down about 4.5 pounds. So I'm getting my abs back from doing so many push-ups. So I'm staying healthy. Mentally, I do get inspired talking to everybody right here. The one thing, the care that you see in times like this is inspiring. And you have to be grateful for the small things right now. But I can't wait to see everybody again. So to keep the team up is staying in touch with them. And everybody's contributing. It's not just me carrying them. We're all entrepreneurs. We all have to support each other. We all keep each other up. We all share with each other. And that's the beauty about this. And even within our company or outside our company, I've had so many calls, so many texts, emails, phone calls with other people. Mike, I'm dealing with this. Before I got on here, I had about 4 or 5 of them. People are like, oh, should I show houses? I said, absolutely not, man. This is I'm just supporting other people. We are all in this together. As Gary Keller says, win-win or go home. I do want this to be a win-win for everybody. And that's why we help each other. In this business, we all cooperate. I learned that from early on in my real estate career. You're not my competitor. If you get a listing and I went on it and didn't, so what? There's plenty of business for all of us. The worst thing would be is I'd be mad at you and then we don't talk to each other. And then we have, that's so childish, man. I want everybody to do better. And the more that I give, the more that I get. And I don't give to get, but that's what has happened over my career. Again, I'm 60 years old. I've been doing this 34 years. I have seen it all come and go. And there's a lot of fundamental truths that don't change. Yes, the industry's changed. We went from no computer, no internet to the internet, to the MLS being online, to Zillow and Trillia, to the Redfins, to all these changes in the industry. But many things, the things that have not changed is your credibility. You're like, if I say something, people know that I mean that. Loyalty, hard work, smart work, helping other people. Some of those fundamentals have not changed. And if you trudge through this, you can't be stuck in your head. You got to get outside. When I had nothing, I helped people who had less. You can't compare yourself with Mike McCann, the real estate man. You compare yourself with yourself. I wasn't always the real estate man. It took me a long time to grow in this business and to develop wealth and stuff like that. It takes a long time. So you compare am I doing better today than I did yesterday? And that's the key thing. You have to compare yourself with yourself or you'll never be happy. Where I grew up, I'm like the most successful guy and all my friends are like, oh, if I compare myself to my friends, yeah, I'm a big success. I could be a big shot. But you know what? I compare myself with myself. If I compare myself to Gary Keller, I'm a freaking loser. You know what I mean? The guy's, he's a billionaire and has all these companies and all these people that work for him. So you compare yourself with yourself for true happiness. You be grateful every day. You have to wake up optimistically. If not, you got to go run. You got to do some push-ups. You got to do something. Get your heart beating. Talk to positive people. Hang around with mentors. I do have to schedule my time right now. I love being with all you guys, but I have to schedule who I choose to be with. And they say the top 5 people that you associate with are who you become. And so you want to make sure you're looking at people that, not just in business, I'm talking about in joy and happiness of life, because making money and being a mean punk it would not be happy for me. I love people and I want everybody to be successful and be happy, and I'll help anybody. Sorry, next question. Wait, how much time do we have here? It's 10 of. Questions? I love questions. So, okay, no more questions. Okay, so I guess you have to, one thing is, what am I going to do today when I'm done here? Later on, I have one more of these Zoom things, but I am going to reach out to at least 10 past clients and ask them how they're doing. And I'm going to do that old school phone call. And if they don't pick up, I'm not going to leave a voicemail. I'm going to probably text them. 10 people, that's what I'm going to do. Also, I am working on my plans for hopefully May 1st. I have about 9 listings. I'm starting to set up appointments for people that like listing opportunities. Because right now I'm just holding off. So I'm planning for next month. And then I'm also planning other appointments that I'm going to schedule, events that I'm going to watch today. You know, whether it's National Association of Realtors or there's a Keller thing on at 12 o'clock. I actually wanted to cancel this because there was a Gary Keller speech on at 12 o'clock. I wanted to see it. I listened to a Mo Anderson thing yesterday, and she's pretty cool. So it's funny, I'm getting to know a lot of people. And then even outside of the real estate business, I'm hearing, listening to inspiring stories. But you can't just listen, you have to implement. And that's the thing. I can learn all this stuff, but if I don't do anything, it's not going to do it. So what am I going to do? Later on, I'm going to do a small video that I'm going to send out to all my sellers. That's the other thing. I haven't done one for a week and a half, so I'm going to do that today. So I have a couple action plans I'm going to do today and a couple action plans I'm going to do this week. But you have to be a doer. You can't just be a listener or you know, you have to implement what you do. Okay, is Jeremy still on here? No, he left.
Mike, can
Yes.
you just let me know what your email is so I can email you for the
Sure.
list of like blogs and things?
Absolutely. And I respond to every email every day, no matter what. McCann at McCannteam.com. That's
Okay.
McCann at McCannteam.com.
Okay.
And just for people, if you don't have a big budget, you need to get a young person or do it yourself that's great on social media. I can tell you, I was this top agent. I'm just going to tell you a quick story and I'll let you go. I was a top agent, it was like 08, 09, and Facebook was coming out and people were like, you got to get on Facebook. And I'm like, not another thing. I've been doing this 20 years. Nah, that's, blah, blah, blah. And I fought it. About 2010, maybe 2010 and a half, I finally said, okay, I got to get on Facebook. Okay. Usually I was always ahead of the curve. So I'm behind the curve on that. And one of my agents said to me, Mike, everybody knows you, but on social media, you're a ghost. Like, she called me a ghost. I can't believe it. Okay. Why? Because I'm bald. But anyway, she called me a ghost. So I went on Facebook and 6 months later, I was loving it. I started to get so much business. And one of my friend in the office, not on my team, said to me, he said, Mike, I've known you 4 years. Now that you're on Facebook, I really know who you are. So you have to create who you are to the world, not just as a business professional, but as a human being, because people in residential real estate, this is why I love residential real estate. People want to do business with people they like, and they know that that person cares. And that's how I was raised from my mom, and that's how I was born. I love people, and I care about people. So I just put that image out to the world. I'm not shy. I mean, I've danced on Facebook. I've done all kinds of crap. I'm doing push-ups on Facebook. I'm also putting my premier properties on Facebook. So I get a lot of business from social media, putting out who I am. So if you don't have a big budget, to me, that's the best thing in the world, to really create a great, Instagram is more the younger people now, and I'm getting better at that. I'm still not there, but Facebook's probably more people my age or slightly younger. But both of those are free, unless you have the business page and you do the paid. You know, we do paid zip code spend and all that stuff too. Also through Command, that's been really effective. I'm starting to do a Facebook post through Command because of the SEO. So get on social media. Also do old written notes to people, and then also plan an attack for expired listings when the market comes back. And get your systems down. You know, develop your 33 touch system, develop your network. Nothing is more important than your network because it's free instead of spending the friggin' money that I ended up spending on Zillow and Realtor.com. That's cut way down, and I'm going to get that down more. But I want to get those out of my life because they're so expensive and minimum results. Where your 33 touch, your personal influence, At the end of the day, I spend 80% of my money to get 20% of the business, which is crazy because most of my business comes from call Mike, and that's how most of my business comes. So anyway, listen, everybody stay safe and healthy. I want to sign off unless there's any other questions.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Good to see you're doing well.
Thanks, man.
How often do you touch your spheres? I know you're doing a 33 now, but how often were you doing it before? Like once a month?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't. Excuse me. My business has always been from attraction from past clients without solicitation. So when I came to Keller, and my 33 touch is still not perfect yet. I mean, I've done them and I'm still working on that. I did my first client party, which was unbelievable, but I'm still working on that stuff. So that's why I say, if I had been born and raised and I got in real estate and I had the Keller plan in front of me, my God, I would have grew so much faster because I'm a naive. If you tell me something and you say, do this, I will do it. No matter what, I'll do it. If I commit to it, I had to learn by myself. My first 6 years, I was with a broker who only managed real estate. They didn't have sales. I had to learn everything myself. And today you can come into a Keller or even the other companies, and there's a plan where you can grow, how to operate a business. And you have this network of other people. As you know, in our office, anybody will help you. Any agent that's more successful than you will help you out. So, to me, man, it's an instant plan. You just have to believe and you just have to do it. So Abe, to be very brutally honest with you, my business has always just been from doing good and then people referring me and then having that brand. I get tons of referrals from people I don't even know who heard about me from their friend's friend. And that's why, to me, if you do bad, something wrong to one person, they'll tell 20 people. If you do something good, they'll only tell 5 people. So you need to make sure your wins are much more than your bad. And I do whatever it takes to keep people happy, that as long as it's not dishonest or illegal. So I'm working on that. And right now, this downtime, my support staff and myself are working on getting that 33 touchdown more because, again, I never did. I can't call people and ask them for business. It's just not me. I'm never like, oh, you want to buy or sell? I'm going to reach out and I'm reaching out to people, but I want them to come to me. That's just how I run my business. So it's a little bit different, but that's what's worked for me. And if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Well, you have to love what you do. You have to have passion. You have to create purpose. A lot of times people will say to me, hey, Mike, I'm sorry. Oh, I heard somebody. I'm thinking about selling. I'll go out there, and if it makes sense, I'm going to let them know why they need to do it now. I do always create a sense of purpose and urgency, and then I create an action plan, and I help them do it. Because people are scared. Death, divorce, buying and selling a home. 3 of the most stressful things in your life. So I make sure that I carry them through that process, and it's my confidence. But guess what? If it doesn't work for them, I'll tell them not to. But normally, so creating a sense of urgency and purpose. Like some people will just think, oh, I'm thinking about buying. An agent will show them, and that's all they do. They just show them. I'll show them. I'll let them know why. You need to buy a house now. Rates are low. Values are going up. Even if they only go up 3% next year, they're going up. If they go up nowhere, over time, historically, real estate goes up 3.5% a year. Each year, your rent's going to go up. You need to get in the market. I can help you. I can get you a low down payment loan. I can get the seller to pay costs. Don't you want to own a home? The pride of home ownership. So you have to create purpose, sense, and urgency in all that you do, or you shouldn't be in this business. This is a personal, emotional business. Yes, you have your investors. I love the fact that I grow investors, taking people who do one shitty rehab to now doing 10 or 20 beautiful rehabs because because I've helped them grow. Man, that's so rewarding. I've made a lot of millionaires. That is so rewarding. I am so important in their life. So it's more than just we sell real estate. If that's the case, you'll do okay. But it's finding that passion and your niche. And Alan Dom taught me this back in the day. He was the condo king. That's all he did was condos. So my niche in the early days was just first-time buyers. I was the expert of maximum financing, FHA, 6% seller assist, getting the repairs done so that it qualified. So I was turning all these, at my time, 28, 29-year-olds into homeowners that no one else was able to do because of my knowledge. So, and they thanked me. And then I sold 4 or 5 years later. So many of my sellers are people that bought from me, years ago. Okay, sorry, you asked the question, I rambled. So let me just give you a couple things before you go. These are, and I'm sorry for all you people. I'm like the old guy that repeats himself, but in case there's some, even if one person never heard, these are Mike McCannisms, okay? Sorry, here we go. So first of all, after I get out of the shower, I'm like, boy, do I feel great. Boy, do I feel great. Boy, do I feel great in the mirror, okay? And that's just what I do. But if you believe you can achieve, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Nothing was going to stop me. I was inadequate. I didn't belong. I didn't have anything when I got in this business. Hard as that is to believe, I couldn't raise my hand in a classroom when I was in school. That's how introverted I was. So with time and experience, but I believed that I was not going to be poor, and I believed that I was going to succeed. And I looked at the best people in the business, and I said, if he or she can do it, I can do it. They're no better than me, because I believed, even though I didn't come from any of them. Never, never, never give up. My whole team has those sweatshirts. I love that. Never, never, never give up. Can't means won't. I can't do that, Mike. That means you won't do that. I can't. No, that means you won't. Can't means won't. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Oh, Mike's so lucky. He's the real estate man. No, I worked hard. Now I say the harder / smarter you work. And it is the truth. Anybody that you see that is successful, they are smart, hard workers. They didn't get it handed to them. And if you got it handed to them, you wouldn't be a happy person. Believe me, if handing wealth to someone were happy, I'd give my kids all my wealth. You need purpose in your life. So helping people is the joy. Why do I continue to work the way that I work? I haven't had to work for, I don't want to boast, but for a long time. I love what I do. I work more than most of you because that's what I love. I love helping people. I want my people to grow. So that giving back has helped me over time with a joyful life and with wealth. I'll think of a few more. Wait, can't means won't, never, never give up, hard your work. If you believe you can achieve, and if he can do it or she can do it, I can do it. Anyway, so I'm going to let you go on that. Just believe, have fun. I'm always out there. Email me, text me, Facebook message me. I will respond to you.